Seattle, make some noise for Rick Taylor. Yes. My name is Max Brockmann. This is 15 jokes and one story in 10 minutes. Sometimes I like to smoke a plant. I will not say which plant, but I will say this. It starts with marijuana, and it ends with both of my arms stuck in Pringles cans. Sometimes I like to smoke a plant. I will not say which plant, but I will say this. It starts with marijuana, and it ends with me opening 20 stores and gentrifying the neighborhood. When I can't find parking, I always park at a church. Best case scenario, I get free parking. Worst case scenario, I get sent to hell, which also has free parking. I love movies. I missed that about the pandemic. I love movies. I don't like 3D movies because it's a gimmick, but I do like 7D movies. A 7D movie is a lot like a 3D movie, except instead of getting 3D glasses, you just get LSD. Not only will things pop out of the screen, but you will taste the acting. And if you have not tasted Nicolas Cage, your review of National Treasure is meaningless. I have some friends from the Midwest. I love my Midwest friends, but there's some culture shock. All of my Midwest friends, anytime, this is for you. She messaged me from the Midwest. All my Midwest friends, anytime they see a slight hill, they think it's a mountain. I went on a road trip with one of my Midwest friends. She points and she goes, "What's the name of that mountain?" And I said, "That's a Burger King parking lot." I'm sorry, Mount's Burger King parking lot. My friends say that I walk weird. I don't walk weird. I walk according to what music I'm listening to at the time. Like when I listen to rock, I walk fast. When I listen to alternative, I walk slow. And when I listen to Coldplay, I walk off a cliff. So, a little bit about me. I'm a sober person. I've been sober for about 4 years. Thank you. There are two different types of sober people in the world. There's the type of sober person who never started doing drugs in the first time. And then there's a type of sober person who used to have fun. That's me. I used to have fun. Yeah, someone told me I must be bad at doing drugs because I had to stop doing them. It's the exact opposite. I am so good at doing drugs that I had to retire undefeated. I'm like the Michael Jordan of drinking too much and stealing a penguin from the zoo. I'm so good. I used to leave myself notes on my hand when I was blacked out and wake up with a note in the morning. I woke up with a note on my hand one morning saying, "Don't open your eyes." I used to set up dates for myself when I was blacked out and then go on the date sober. It's like going on a blind date that I set up myself. Except the only thing I know about my date is what's on my notes. Like, she works at an aquarium and has a strong arm. No, I like a girl with a strong arm as much as the next guy, but there is no aquarium where I live in Eugene. So I go on the date, I find out she works at a pet store and has a cast on her arm. And a can of Pringles on the other arm. I woke up from a blackout one time to find a scavenger hunt that I set for myself the night before. It took me 40 minutes to solve the scavenger hunt and find the prize, which was a Post-it note self-representation of my self-esteem. It's a pretty good prize, but my car keys would have been a better one. I woke up from a blackout one time with a shoebox full of gift cards, including a $40 gift card for Hobby Lobby. It's a true story. I don't know how I got that. About a year later, I had to produce a comedy festival, so I decided I'm going to use my gift card for Hobby Lobby to buy an easel. And to answer your question, yes, I felt bad about shopping at a homophobic store, but I found a way around it, which is this. When I'm done using my easel, any other one that wants to can have gay sex on my easel. And then when I'm done using my easel, and everyone at Club Comedy is done having gay sex on my easel, I'll return it to Hobby Lobby. And when I return the easel, the guy at the counter is going to be like, "What is that on the easel?" And I'll say, "It's paint. It's white paint. It's sticky white paint." And the guy will say, "Man, you cannot return easel with sticky white paint on it." That's when I'll say, "That's okay. I don't care if you return it. I just want you to hold it a little bit longer." Because there's cum on it. I went to a party one time. I was the only person at the party not on acid. being the only person not on acid is like having superpowers. I had the ability to multiply and divide. I had the ability to not fall down a flight of stairs. I showed these people a magic trick, they tried to burn me at the stake. Luckily for me, one of my abilities is the ability to untie a knot made out of Twizzlers. I used to do drugs that destroyed my mind, my body, and my spirit. Now I drink diet soda, so my health is exactly the same. This guy told me that if I don't wear my helmet on my bike, that I could die. I told him I have died 3 times from drug overdoses. And you know what? Wearing a bike helmet only would have helped one of those times. All right, I want to tell you guys a story. I want to tell you about a story about the time I met a celebrity. So I live in Eugene, Oregon. It's the Oregon Ducks. But I was at a Starbucks in Eugene a few years ago. Outside of a Starbucks, drinking Frappuccino like a boss. There was a weird guy talking to everyone outside of Starbucks. And I could tell from the interaction that it was an awkward conversation every time. I love that kind of shit, so I was excited for him to come to me. Guy comes up to me, I'm like, okay, man, I'm ready. What's going on? And he goes, do you know who's inside of Starbucks right now? I said, no, who? He goes, Randy Johnson. I said, who? He goes, Randy Johnson, the Hall of Fame baseball player. I know he played for the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle, so you guys might know him, but in most of the world, Randy Johnson is not known for baseball. Randy Johnson is known for one thing, and one thing only, which is killing a bird with a fastball during a baseball game. Has a lot of views on YouTube. So I had to ask the guy, like, why are you out here preaching the good word of Randy Johnson instead of inside a Starbucks partying with Randy Johnson? And that's when he said the one thing I will never forget in my entire life. He goes, the people inside of Starbucks don't think I should be in there anymore. That's when it crystallizes in my mind. This guy got kicked out of Starbucks for stalking Randy Johnson. So we talked the good word of Randy Johnson for a while. He leaves. About 10 minutes later, a tall, muscular man walked out of Starbucks. I look up and I take a wild-ass stab and I say, Randy Johnson? Randy Johnson looks down at me and he goes, yeah, are you a baseball fan? And I said, no. The look of terror in the eyes of Randy Johnson, I can only equate to one other thing in the universe, which is the look of terror in the eyes of a bird right before it's murdered with a fastball by Randy Johnson. And that's because he knew if I didn't know him for baseball, I could possibly only know him from one other place. He looked at me and he goes, is that guy still there? So that's the story about how I met a celebrity, Randy Johnson stalker. People, keep it going for your host. Thank you.